Hi, my name's Rachel and welcome to Seitan's Little Helpers. Recently I came across the curiouschickpea.com and they have like a chicken cutlet seitan. It's really nice, really tender, it's all steamed, and I decided to take that recipe and turn it into beef because I really like the texture. So there's a few bits that I've tweaked of that, and what I'm going to do is, since some people are wanting to do Wellington for Christmas, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do beef Wellington with a kind of a take on the same thing as the curious chickpea because I love that recipe. If you want to try the chicken seitan recipe from the curious chickpea, I'll put the link below and we'll get started now. So we'll start with 2 cups of vital wheat gluten. You can buy it online, you can buy it on Amazon, that's where I get mine from. I've got 1/4 cup of Nutritional yeast. You can get it from supermarkets now or also online. We want about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Also smoked paprika. This one I got from TK Maxx, I think. 1 teaspoon, but I kind of go really heaped. You got the same for the ground cumin, that's about 1 teaspoon. Yeah, that'll do. And some black pepper. Just about, maybe about 1/4 teaspoon should do. So we'll just give that all a good mix, make sure that it's all incorporated properly, and that should do. And we'll put this to one side. So next what we'll do is the wet ingredients. So you'll start off with some chickpeas, just put them straight in. Make sure they're all like drained off. You want some stock. This is just the stock, so it has like 1 meat-free oxo cube in and just 1 teaspoon of marmite to give it that real meaty taste. Then we go with liquid smoke, something that you can get online as well, very easy. So that's 1 tablespoon, let's say 1.5 tablespoons. It's a good flavor. So we got 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. I've got like a light soy sauce. We want 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. 2 garlic cloves. I've just kind of taken the outside off and that little hard thing on the bottom. They go straight in. And 2 beetroot go straight in as well. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I wouldn't go over that. That's enough for the whole thing. And you whiz all of this up. So, yeah, that should do. You've got a nice red colour there, so no need to use food colouring. Okay, so this is all mixed, what we've done earlier. We're going to add the liquid mix to it now, sort of pinky red. But what this does is when it's cooking, the outside it'll have like a brown crust, and on the inside there'll be like pink sort of chunks that you can rip apart. So if you just make like a little hole in the middle and just pour it in. What you want to do is just mix that in. So give it a good stir. Oh, try not to get it all over the bench. And once you've got it in enough, and this is where you get your hands dirty, you can get your hands straight in and start mixing it, probably kneading at the same time. So as you can see, it's kind of very just like pasty at the minute. So we try and incorporate all of this vital wheat gluten in, and you'll feel it firm enough. So this middle bit here, you can see the strands coming together. If you mix for about 5-10 minutes, the longer you mix, the firmer the seitan's going to be. It doesn't matter if you've got these little bits of chickpeas in it. They'll all cook off when you're steaming it, so it all becomes soft. It's really starting to become quite firm, which is lovely. That'll do. Just try and form it together as best you can in a kind of log shape. There we go. Nice. So this is where we'll leave it for about an hour. You can leave it a little bit longer, it doesn't really matter. But what I do suggest is that you don't leave it any less than 30 minutes. I left it for 20 minutes and it just didn't form the same way. It was still really nice, like you do that with chicken cutlets, and turned out great, but with this one it's a little bit different. You want a little bit more of a beefy pull to it, them strands, the juiciness. It's gonna be lovely. Very excited. So if you just leave it for an hour, it'll come out perfect. You'll love it. 1 hour later. So we're back. It's been resting for a little over an hour and it's looking pretty good. Very happy with that. All of the strands will have come together, all of the gluten is formed. It feels really disgusting, but also awesome at the same time, very satisfying. Right, so we just get some spray oil. Give it a good spray. Your beef. So just shape it. I want it kind of like log shape. There we go. And then just double wrap it just to make sure that not loads of water seeps in, and also kind of keeps its shape so it doesn't expand too much. That's perfect and ready for steaming. Get your hunk of meat, pop it into the steamer. At the minute I'm using a colander, which is in like a large pan. I pop the lid on the top, which fits nicely in there, and then I cover the rest of this bit with tin foil to stop the steam coming out. And then at the end I collect all the tin foil and you kind of make a big bowl, because that's the only way that you can recycle tin foil. Pop it on for about like medium high heat. You want some real steam going. Pop the kettle on so it's easier and you're not waiting for the water to boil. Stick it in. So you cover it in foil and leave it for about 1 hour 45 minutes in the pan. Leave it to cool totally. And then you put it in the fridge, preferably overnight or at least 6 hours. So it's out of the fridge, it's been in overnight. As you can see, it's a nice big log, cheeky peak. It's got some pull to it, got some layers going on in there, which I'm very excited about. And it smells amazing. So we're just gonna get some, any of your favorite plant butter, and pop a couple of, so I'm just using the Flora plant butter. I've got the salted one because it gives it a nice crust on the outside, a little salty taste. That'll cover the pan. Then once the butter is melted, just put the meat straight in the pan and let it sear up on the outside. Starting to crisp on the top there. So that should be about enough. And just pop it into a bowl when you're happy with the outside and let it cool completely, ready for the pastry. Right, so we've got some pre-made puff pastry that I've got out of the fridge, and we'll have our meat ready to go in. I've rehydrated some stuffing mix, just what you can get from the store. It's about 3 cups, and I put about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of water just to rehydrate, and I've let it sit until it's nice and cool so we can put it on the pastry and it won't melt the butter. So what we're going to do is kind of flatten down. Right, so we've covered the bottom with some of the stuffing. Pop your Wellington straight on that. Oh, I've got that quite well. And then with the rest of your stuffing, just kind of try and mold it around. It's much easier than putting it all the way to the edge and then folding it over. So it's all covered, and what we're going to do is just pop the pastry over the if you just nip the bottom ends just to fold it in. Obviously you can do something really pretty and ornate, but this was a lot bigger than the last one that I made, so there's no extra pastry to put something nice on top. So if you just get some parchment paper, okay, and pop it in the fridge for half an hour now. Right, so it's been in the fridge for about half an hour, 45 minutes. It's nice and firm on the outside. I've just put some scoring on the top because you want to make it look pretty. I'm literally just gonna water wash the top. I know you normally use egg, but obviously not using that today. Just ice cold water, just along. And then it's going straight in the oven. Popped it in the oven, 200 degrees fan, and now we just wait and see. So it's been in the oven for 45 minutes and it came out all lovely golden and brown and delicious. Very excited to cut into it. Oh, that's a nice crunch. There we go, that's the inside. So we put the Wellington in the oven for 45 minutes and it came out lovely and crispy and golden. So I've done roast potatoes in coconut oil with a little bit paprika salt to give it that nice crunch on the outside. Maple syrup, carrots, roasted sprouts and buttery asparagus, and it's all going to be delicious. So this has been my first video on how to do seitan. This one was vital wheat gluten, so it's very easy to do. You just gotta buy the vital wheat gluten. I think that's the hardest bit of it. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe as everyone else says. And I'll pop everything below, so everything you need, the recipe, links to pages that I've mentioned earlier. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.